Welcome to the show, Mithila.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Tell us, what is Trinity into?
Trinity was basically founded in 2010, and today, as we speak, we are celebrating 10 years. So, in the last decade, we've heard a lot of buzz around this whole digital transformation, and Trinity saw this as an opportunity, or you could say like a sweet spot or a white space around digital transformation, and we are trying to address that space. So, we are the leading provider of IoT and AI-based digital platform and solutions, catering to the smart cities and the safe cities domain, basically. So, what exactly is smart city, or if you want to ask us, what is the definition of smart city? As we know today, urbanization is increasing, and a majority of people are moving from, say, rural areas to urban areas. So, this is putting a lot of stress or strain on the physical infrastructure, on the social infrastructure, also on the environment, and also the ability to provide like seamless governance is quite difficult because of this growing urbanization. So we saw this as an opportunity to add digital intelligence to our urban systems in order to support this growing urbanization. So this smart city is thus about building smartness. So when we tell smartness, it means using right technology as well as using data in order to take decisions in real time and also to respond faster, so that we can have better outcomes for the city. So how exactly is Trinity doing this? We call this as, we are doing this by building three layers of smartness. So what is the first layer of smartness? So at the bottommost layer, you'll obviously have a platform because you need a platform. And we call this as a digital platform or an IoT platform. And this will allow you to connect various urban systems, collect the data, process the data, and also you can derive intelligence to take any meaningful action. So this is basically the first step or the first layer. So now once you have the data, you have to make sense of that data, right, in order to take any action. So the next layer is basically you're building applications on top of the platform. So what are the applications that I'm talking about over here? At Trinity, we have multiple such applications. One such application is a Trinity Respond. So it is an application to help, provide public safety and also deliver citizen services for responding to, say, any emergencies. So these emergencies could be your crime-related emergencies or accidents or, say, fire-related or even medical emergencies. And this platform helps to respond to these emergencies, emergency calls by citizens. So another such platform is, say, the Trinity Intelligent Transport System. So this is an application for enabling urban mobility. So where citizens can spend less time in commuting, which is always a pain point for everybody. And through planned and informed mobility services, they are able to now commute faster. And citizens can also use certain services such as maybe finding parking spots intelligently. So you, even before you arrive at a place, you know where to park and you have the parking spot booked for you. And this is part of, say, the whole mobility aspect or the mobility related applications. We also have a couple of applications, say, in terms of sustainability and environmental monitoring. So the solid waste management application that we have, it helps in efficient collection and disposal of any solid waste which is generated in cities. So building such value add applications on top of the platform, this is our biggest differentiator. So there are companies which have probably just platforms, and there are companies which have only applications, but we have both. So the platform plus applications, what makes us this single suite software provider. So now when you talk about the third layer of smartness, that is about adoptions, right? So how do you adopt this solution for you and me, and how can it benefit a citizen? How will it help the city administration or the city authorities to be able to provide better governance and run their operations smoothly? So we are looking at something called as a citizen engagement system. So which will allow the citizens to basically avail any civic services digitally. So in this regard, for citizens, we have built a city app or a citizen engagement platform through which the citizens can raise any concern or any grievances and even call for emergencies, like I mentioned earlier. So at the same time, we know that the workforce of the city also needs to have this information in real time, right? So that they can take the necessary action quicker and respond to the emergency or to the grievance quickly. So we are also providing a workforce app, and so that the workforce can stay connected to the incidents in real time. And how are we equipping our city authorities basically to be able to provide better governance? So we are doing this by having integrated, you can say, a city operations center, so that all the city's data is then available in real time for them to visualize and also take better decisions. So now at this point of time, this whole dimension of AI, artificial intelligence, will kick in. This will help us to take any kind of preventive and proactive measures rather than always taking some kind of reactive measure. So thus Trinity's single suite software is very holistic, and we do understand the challenges and needs of different cities, and our offerings are customized to basically cater to different cities needs and their priorities. So today, if you look at our platform, it leverages all the advanced technology. So whether it's IoT or big data, which can handle volumes of data. I mean, when you look at a city's data, right, it's going to be humongous amount of data which is going to come in, and we are also be able to use AI to make sense of this data and have that intelligence in order to drive proactive measures, as well as have better outcomes for the cities. So that's where we are well positioned today.
Firstly, many congratulations on completing 10 years as a founder of the company and also to your team. It's a big time, it's 10 years is a long time.
Yeah, thank you. So our founder is actually Mr. Ashok Kumar. So he was the one who founded this company 10 years ago. Had a long stint with HCL, and then turned into an entrepreneur. So yeah, very passionate and very driven individual, and has always looks at everything as an opportunity and not as a challenge. So that's something about him. Yeah.
So, many congratulations to your company for completing 10 years in business. That's a long time. Right? Back to, smart city is, basically the whole concept of this, people started hearing about smart city or safe city is about 5, 6 years ago. Started 10 years back. So what was the idea then? What areas you were working?
So, I mean, if I have to talk about the legacy of the company, right? Like, so earlier, it started as, basically, we started catering to small blocks of innovation. So, I know the whole concept of smart city and safe city started now. But the idea of responding to, say, emergency services. So, for example, the whole Bangalore Dial 100, right? It has Trinity's platform over there. So the idea of creating this centralized operations center where any kind of emergencies can be responded to, and the authorities are able to take some kind of an action was started way back then. So that was we built over that idea to be able to have the centralized operations or the centralized operation delivery model. And to that, we kind of then fine-tuned all our offerings, especially after this whole smart city 100 smart cities concept was released by the Prime Minister of India. And we kind of catered all our solutions around that, and that has been you can say the stepping stone for all our products and offerings that we have today. So today we are not only playing in India. We are not only a player in India. We also have a couple of global deployments, like in Bangladesh. Also, we have a nationwide deployment. Our model is basically to work as an OEM, and we work with several partners. All the big names in the industry like Honeywell, Motorola, HP, in order to cater to smart city needs across the globe.
So when you started, the business environment was different. Even the mindset of local authorities was different. How difficult was it to go to them and say, "Here we have a platform that can help you with the ambulance service or the dial 100"?
Now if you see, like India, it has become so advanced digitally, so we see a lot of push coming in from the authorities itself than the companies. Like, so they want to have, very they want to have everything digital. They say that, why can't you provide us better dashboards where we are able to visualize better? Okay, what is it post visualization? How can we take actions based on this? So a lot of that drive is coming from the cities authorities itself, and also in terms of the apps that we create for the cities or for the workforce. They are also providing a lot of different use cases and a lot of different ways to approach this. So I think India especially has seen a very steep transition in the way we approach digital, whether it is like a common man or whether it is a city authority or a city personal. It has seen a very steep transition. So I'm not very sure how difficult what was it before, but at this point of time, I think, there's a lot of onus on companies like us to continue to innovate and provide better outcomes or better delivery in terms of like a seamless user experience or a customer experience that we provide through our applications.
How far are we from having those 100 smart cities fully functioning?
So I don't think we are very far. So I think already 40 plus smart cities are up and running today, and a lot of other projects are also. I think the COVID kind of slowed it down a bit. But a lot of other projects are also kicking in, and we are able to see like, projects of very small scale where we are integrating like, maybe only transport, or we are integrating only solid waste management, to very large scale deployments where, the entire city is being considered, and a lot more integrations are coming in with respect to various departments, including health, including mobility, including utilities, etc. So we are not very far, but I would still say that, for that realization to happen, or this complete dream of smart city to be realized, we need to have very good physical infrastructure in place. I think somewhere that if we are lacking somewhere today, it is with respect to like the physical infrastructure that we have, and also the challenges which comes with the planning of each city, right? Like each city here is planned very differently, right from the city's layout to their drainage system, to also how their internal departments are organized. It's very different. So that is something that could be, certain challenges. But once we have that in place, I think the speed or the acceleration will be pretty fast.
Many companies are working in smart, many companies are building, even startups are building solutions for smart city. You are kind of providing a solution, overarching solution. Is the interoperability easier? Is it smooth, seamless?
Yeah, so the interoperability is, I wouldn't say it is smooth or seamless. So, for example, the platform that we have, we integrate a lot of subsystems. So, when you say substance systems, we have to integrate cameras. Now, the camera vendors are going to be totally different. I said we have an IoT platform, so we have to integrate a lot of different sensors, right? So there are going to be different sensors from different companies or different vendors. In terms of say telecommunication, also, right? We'll have to integrate a different subsystem for providing that telecom infrastructure. So I wouldn't say it is seamless, but I can say it is not impossible. So today we have a lot of these generic technologies, right? Like basically most of the companies are using RESTful APIs to be able to expose, and their technology stack and also be able to handle various integrations. So we are also doing through that itself. So I think only the value add is depending on the city's needs or developments. We need to choose the right vendor. So if you look at say an integration of a port, it can be a little bit different from the integration of a city, or the use cases could be different. So then we will have to use the appropriate vendor or the appropriate company for these kind of integrations. So the challenge is over there. So the challenge is more in terms of choosing the right fit. Yeah.
Many startups are working, or the young entrepreneurs are working towards solutions that can be used as part of smart city. Do you work with startups? Do you work with young entrepreneurs, either collaborating with them or buying their technology?
Not really, because we ourselves are a very small company. We are just a 230 plus team here working out here. So we are a startup by ourselves, though we are a 10-year-old company. So we're not really, we don't really have a mode of engagement of working with other startups, or like I said, we are more in the business of, we are an OEM, and we collaborate with partners such as say HP in order to provide our solutions to smart cities. Currently not working with either academia or with other startups, but hopefully in the future we could champion such a cause. Yeah.
When we talk about smart city, and also when would we see smart villages getting integrated with smart cities, or when would smart villages have come up?
So I think smart villages, the challenges are completely different over there. So when you talk about smart villages, I think first, like I said, the infrastructure itself needs to be built, right? Like they need to have all the basic infrastructure in place. Today, I think even in the remote corners of India, you would find Wi-Fi connectivity for sure, and you would find people using smartphones. But whether they have the access to all the other basic amenities itself, it's a question mark. But what we are seeing in smart cities is like the smart cities are not only for the tier one cities. So it's mostly the tier two and the tier three cities which are actually coming up with the whole smart city agenda, and they are the ones who are proactively taking part in this. So that is a big shift that we are seeing, because now what is happening is, most of the people have to travel to tier one cities for a job or and things like that. But the idea is to kind of decentralize this, so that the congestion in the tier one cities can reduce and people are able to be self-sufficient and enjoy a better quality of life even in tier two or tier three cities. So a lot of the RFPs or the request for proposals are coming from these cities itself. So I don't think like smart villages also are very far off in the future. We could really see them very soon, in my opinion. Yeah.
So when you're building solutions, a lot of work, I'm sure, must be happening on the ground. So how much of your time goes, carrying out surveys, studying what is the challenges on the ground? Can you just go through that?
So, like I said, we are only the software providers. So, usually what happens is we have a team which is on the ground, that is, which is actually partaking in all the discussions and executing the project or helping to execute the project on the ground. And then we have the rest of them supporting through remote. So, every project has its own timeline. So if it's a standard, we are a standard off the shelf kind of a project, so commercial off the shelf product, and anything that has to be customized is then taken as an additional customization. So every project will have its own, like say, timeline. It could be like a 30-day project, 90-day project, or it could be a year's project as well. So what we see is like, yes, there are a lot of challenges on the ground, but that mostly it is the system integrator who is trying to assess and understand what the challenges are. The challenges that we encounter is, like I said, because we integrate a lot of different departments, right? So the challenges that we see is that most of these departments work in silos. So there is not that coordinated function is not there. And even from the city's side, sometimes they do have a consultant whom they have appointed to be the spock to kind of to kind of help lead the project and have this smooth project delivery. But sometimes some cities will not have these consultants appointed, so that becomes a bit challenging because you have to directly talk to the administrators, and it is difficult to get their time. So I think most of the challenges, like I said, it comes either with lack of infrastructure or lack of having a dedicated spock that you can talk to. But otherwise, I feel if the project is planned well and you have the system integrator who has done the ground research properly and understands what the current challenges are, and then plans the project in phases. If it's a big project, it's always planned in phases. So the phase one will always be to get the infrastructure ready. Then phase two is where they probably add this digital software solution, and phase three will be taking it to the next level of making sense of the data and providing a little more, say, proactive measures. So if that planning is there in place, I think not much of our time goes in firefighting. Yeah.
So for Trinity to be part of NASDAQ 2020, what does it mean?
So this means a lot to us because I think this is a year we became partners with Nasscom, as in we became members of, not partners, we became members of Nasscom. So it we are really looking forward to this event, and we are really looking forward to showcasing some of our solutions. And Trinity as a company is not very well known, but we have done a lot in this whole IoT and AI space, and we plan to leverage this platform and this opportunity to increase our, to increase our presence, as well as meet with a lot of people who would be interested in some of our solutions. So we are very excited to be part of NASDAQ 2020, and we are really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mithila. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you all the success.
Thank you so much. Yeah.